before Judge Sexton. She grants the order of protection. What kind of protection exactly does your client now have?
Well, orders of protection are extremely extensive and can provide for numerous types of relief. They can provide that the person who is the subject of the order of protection is prevented from beating, striking, threatening, harassing, intimidating, stalking, interfering with the personal liberty of the person who's obtained the order of protection in the first place. It can provide for support, child support or other types of support for someone who's getting it. It can provide that the person, if they live in a common dwelling, that they be evicted from that dwelling and that the other person receives exclusive possession. It can provide that the person not be allowed to go to the children's schools if they're, or their medical providers if there are children. Can give exclusive possession of vehicles, bank accounts, and just a great many things. Orders of protection are designed to stop the abuse immediately if there is, and there has to be a finding of abuse by the court before one can be issued. And then on an ongoing basis, put the parties in a position where the person who has obtained the order of protection is safe, and at the same time the other person's rights aren't being compromised.
Would you say that it's very important that a person document any abuse that they're encountering?
Oh, certainly, because one of the things that the court takes into account when they hear an order of protection case is whether or not there have been past instances of abuse. So if there have been past instances and someone has documented them fully, it makes their testimony a lot more credible and a lot easier for the judge hearing the case to understand.
Great. Well, that actually leads me beautifully over to our next speaker, Chris Ketcherubis. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day. We really do appreciate your being here. We've just heard from Attorney Thomas Els, who's given us an idea of what might happen when a client calls his office. What about your office, Chris? What might a person do if they needed some information about orders of protection and they were to contact your office? What would be your first directive?
Our first reaction in terms of giving information, our office cannot give legal advice. It gives legal information. But we would always ask them and refer them to Amy Milligan's office and the Family Shelter's office first, or the state's attorney's office. We want them to know that there are two different groups out there that really can provide them some legal direction. My job is the keeper of the record, and the actual physical record is the order of protection in this case. And what we've done in terms of kind of revolutionized this method, and originally, and I brought a form so you could see this. It's a physical.
Huge.
It is. You can see it
really
looking
huge.
at it, the thickness of it. That we have the emergency order, and then we have an order of protection, and they're both 11 pages long. And understand that a few years ago, in each circuit in the state of Illinois, and there's 102 counties, there are now currently 23 circuits, including Cook County. What you're looking at is that each circuit had its own individual idea, each individual methodology and form. Well, the Conference of Chief Judges got together and they said, you know what, we've got to uniform and standardize this. Well, understand that the Conference of Chief Judges are attorneys and judges, and they get together and wrote it in legalese. Well, when that person who walks in generally isn't an attorney and isn't a judge who writes or comes in to file this a petition, well, so you're probably dealing with people who have no legal background. So what happens is they got mired down in the complications of this, and Tom talked about it in terms of all that information that's involved. I'm not going to regurgitate all that again, but there's a tremendous amount of information that's needed to get that petition in front of the court.
Let me interrupt you and ask you, Chris, is this online now?
It is online.
It's available to anyone,
right.
Is that right?
And it is, and that's what we did in the last year, 18 months or so, and that is we took this form and we put it online, a web-based program, not a proprietary, but a web-based program at getaprotectionorder.org, and through that, you can go through it, and there's a tutorial. And with the help of Amy Milligan and her wonderful organization there, we took this and we synthesized it down to a readable, understandable type of form where it takes you step by step. And every time you move through it and you don't understand a word like asset or whatever, it prompts you, it tells you kind of in non-attorney terms, tells you what you need right there and how to fill it out. The other part of this is what's beautiful is many times in these type forms, when 11 pages or whatever, they ask you for your name and the children's names, and over, countless times.
Right.
What this does, it goes through and populates it. You put it in once and it fills out the form for you. So you ended up doing it just once.
So I would, if I were a person attempting to fill out, and what this is an application for an order of protection, right?
Exactly.
And so if I were to fill it out with the help that you've just described with this wonderful new program you've installed, I could myself bring this to Judge Sexton's courtroom, is that right?
Well, what'll happen is that here's the steps. You will fill it on, you can go online and fill it out. You will get a receipt or a number. You'll memorize. That number will only appear once, forever. It'll only be there once. It will never be confused with another case. You then take that receipt number and bring it to the clerk's office. Now, if you haven't completed it, we're going to let you know, because you can go off to another computer in our office and finish it with the assistance of our office.
Right.
Or, more importantly, we'll send you up to third floor, up to the family shelter, and have them sit with you, because they are experts in it, and they'll help you finish this and get it. Or we'll send it to the state's attorney's office and they can help you finish it. All you have to do is have that receipt number. They'll be able to bring that up. You won't have to start it over again. It'll be in whatever state you last left it. Great. And you'll bring it. Then what'll happen is it'll be brought down back to our office. You can sign electronically, or you can sign it in the family shelter or in the state's attorney's office. Then electronically it'll be sent up to the courtroom.
Okay, well, it sounds like your office is a wonderful resource for anybody that has any questions. And Chris and Tom and Judge Sexton, I'm going to ask each of you to leave our viewers with one thought this evening. Chris, we'll start with you. If you had to leave our viewers with one important thought, what's the most important thought you would leave them with tonight?
The most important thought is that, yes, it's a complicated problem, but you know what? It can be made easy by getting to the website, getaprotectionorder.org. Go there, look at it. Don't be intimidated by it. There's always help.
So go to
getaprotectionorder.org.
Getaprotectionorder.org.
Right.
And Tom, if I could come back to you, what would you say? What's the one thing you want to leave our viewers with tonight?
I found over the last 26 years of being an attorney that domestic violence is something that builds upon itself and escalates. And people often wait too long to get the help that they need and that they deserve. So the thought I would leave the viewers with is, if you feel as though you are being abused, chances are that you are being abused, and you owe it to yourself and your family to get help immediately by going to the police, the state's attorney, family shelter, the DuPage County Bar Association, or any of the other resources that are out there and available to help people that are being unjustly abused.
Okay. And Judge Sexton, I'd ask you for the same thought.
The system understands your problem as a victim. We're working to help you. Please take advantage of our programs through lawyers, through the clerk's office, through the court system, and family shelter. We're there for you.
Great, great. Well, I'd like to thank all of my panelists this evening. Amy Milligan. I would also like to thank Chris Ketcherubis, Attorney Thomas Els, and Judge Beth Sexton. I'm Susan Alvarado, and I'd like to say thank you again for joining us. I hope this has been helpful. Please feel free to contact us at the DuPage County Bar Association if you would like any further information, and also if you have any suggestions for future programs. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.